I'm here today with my friend Tam. Today we'll be playing around with multi-chrome portraiture. When I say multi-chrome portraiture, I just mean that we are playing around with different colors. For example, if you remember from last episode where I was showing you how we can do different color backdrops, today I want to show you how we can use different lights, mixing them and create different hues. For example, I can use the Nanlink app to just change the hue and the color of one of the lights to create more dynamic backdrops rather than just having a singular color. So I've now got rid of the bicolor lights, and instead our new key light is the PowerSlim 60C. I've also set up my Forza 60C with just a little reflector on it. Instead of having the Forza 60B Mark II, I've switched it out with the Forza 60C. And I've also put it on the projection attachment that we used previously in the last episode. And all of these, in addition to being full color, you can also put them on bicolor. So basically it has the same properties as a bicolor light, but in addition to being a bicolor light, you can also have the full color spectrum. If I go on the PowerSlim, I can also change the hue on that one. And then I can also go on our other Forza 60C and change the color on that as well. So now we've got three different colors happening. We've got a little green light, our key light is red, and then we've got like this kind of pinkish light on the projector attachment. Pop this on here. And rather than pointing it at the background, I am going to move it a bit closer to Tam. So now we have a nice kind of shadow happening underneath, and we'll do a test shot. Chin up a little bit, great. Let's have a look here. I think that looks nice, but I'm going to bring down the brightness just on the key light. Okay, so I'm going to bring the PowerSlim down from 70% all the way down to 10%, just so it has a little bit of fill, but the main kind of light will be this coming in. And then I'm gonna change. Can you turn this way? Yeah, so just stand like this, facing the light, and put your hands down. There, perfect. And I think the backdrop is just a little bit too purple for my liking, so I'm gonna make it a bit more blue. And then I'm just going to change there. I like that much more. There, eyes at me. That's really nice. So the only thing I feel like I'm missing now is a bit of catch light in the eye. So I'm bringing back the clamshell because I was missing a bit of reflection in the eye, because I still want to get that nice little catch light in Tam's eye. So, and that's a good thing about a clamshell reflector. You don't need a massive light source to create that reflection. We've got the PowerSlim 60C, which is a much smaller light source than the Forza 500, which I had on a massive octabox. Now I've just basically replaced it with a smaller light source, and then I moved the light source closer to the subject. And the light is now just bouncing off the clamshell and then into Tam's face. And we're getting a really lovely catch light in his eyes. And then just to add a bit more dimension to the picture, I am bringing in my projection attachment, and I'm going to make it really, really thin. And I'm going to make it almost look like there's a piece of laser going across his eyes. Tilt your head a little bit to the side, there, beautiful. So right now the blue is way too bright, so I'm going to bring down the brightness a lot more. Great, so yeah, look this way. Nice. So what I'm doing now, I'm just making the line as thin as I can, so it kind of emulates this like feeling of a laser going across his face. And I still think the blue is too bright, so I'm going to bring that down. Beautiful, just looks a little bit this way. There, great. Eyes at me. Tilt your head back slightly. There, nice. Great. I think that's a money shot, so hold that. Great, hold that, don't move. And then I'm going to move this around just a little bit. And then twist towards me. There, that's great, don't move. Oh, I love that. In order to make this a bit more exciting, we're going to take the power slim that's on the back, and we're going to change one of them into the hue loop setting that we played with before. So on the app, when you're doing a hue loop, you have a one-way cycle, a two-way cycle, and a reverse cycle. So the reverse and one-way cycle basically just rotates through the color spectrum in a circular motion. The two-way one basically rotates the color one way and then goes back the other way around. So if we want the colors to kind of interchange against each other, we'll take one color on one side and do a one-way cycle, and then I'm going to go on the other power slim, and then I'm going to click on the effect mode and do a hue loop on that one, but I'm going to do a reverse cycle. So basically now we are mixing two different colors, and they're basically going in opposite direction, which means we have a constant refresh of different gradients happening. And then I'm going to grab the power slim on the top here, which is our key light. And then I'm going to click here again, and I'm going to go to effect mode. And we're going to do a hue loop on the eye. So you see here we've got the different colors changing. And finally, I'm going on the Power Slim 60C, and I'm going to do the same thing here again. So as you can see now, we are getting a very wide spectrum of colors happening. This color is changing and the background is changing. The light on Tamtam's face is also changing, and we can play around with that a little bit. The blue looks really nice, and remember I can just shoot with the high-speed function on my camera to record lots of different options. I'm going to move this a bit further away so we get a bigger line on Tam's face. Great. Nice. Great, beautiful. Nice, that's great. Love that. Twist a bit towards me. There, great. Chin up. Turn your head a little bit towards me. There, great. Yeah, perfect. That's great. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get rid of the polyboards, and then I'm going to just turn the power slims facing the background. And then I'm also going to take this Forza 60 and I'm going to turn this on. And then I'm also going to put this on a hue loop. I'm just placing it right behind Tam so we don't see too much. So you kind of see we've got like 3 different colors playing around here. And then I'm going to just open up this a bit more so we have a bit more color covering Tam. Beautiful, Tam. So for this setup, we're doing a multi-chromatic gradient, which means I've got rid of the polyboards that I used to reflect the power slims, and instead of bouncing the power slim off the polyboard to get a really smooth gradient, I've turned them around and I'm facing the backdrop directly. And then behind Tam, I've also placed a Forza 60C, which is just facing the bottom, which means I've got 3 different sources of light hitting the background, which means we are kind of creating this never-ending, never repeating backdrop, because they are all set on different loops, which means that every time I take a picture of Tam, I will get a different color backdrop. And then our main key light, which is the Forza 60C, is also set to the hue loop setting, which is also bouncing off our clamshell reflector. And then I've got a Forza 60C on the projector attachment, which is a little bit out of focus this time, just here on Tam's face, just so we have 2 different colors changing around on Tam's face at the same time. So altogether we've got 5 different sources of light, and they're all set to full color, and they're all changing on hue loop. Great. Yeah, it looks nicer. Beautiful, Tam. Yeah, these are really nice. Beautiful, all that. turn this. Yeah, beautiful. So for this setup, as you might have noticed, I've switched the background. So we're not having a white background anymore. And we're going to use different color lightings from different positions. And the reason why I've switched to a black background is so that I don't have to worry about the light spilling onto the background. So this is a iris, which is basically the same thing you have inside your camera lens, which allows you to control the aperture of your lens. In this case, it's going to be reverse. We are going to control the aperture of our projector attachment. We can also use it to make our projection a little bit smaller. So if I open up all of the shapes here and I have this like big circle on Tam, so like that, I can turn the iris and make a much smaller circle on Tam's face, like that. So if I am now kind of playing with rim lights and I kind of want to make sure that Tam's face stands out a little bit more, I can use the iris to have a bit more control of the light that's hitting his face. I'm going to kill the Power Slim for now, the top light, so we just have the rim lights. So now I've added 2 grids on my Power Slims, and I've also added a hood on my lens, just because the light is facing directly to the camera. So without the grid and without the hood, the light is hitting my camera and creating a lot of haze, which means that like I'm not getting a lot of details in the black areas. And now if I take a portrait of Tam now, we'll have a look in camera. And we're getting really nice rim light on Tam's face, which kind of looks a bit ghostly, which I really enjoy. That looks really beautiful. So the reason I've got one of my lights on a C-stand is so that I can kind of do this boom arm. So I can mount the lights directly above my head and shoot underneath without having to worry about being in the way. So I've got this circle on Tam, and then in the center I'm going to create a line. There, that's pretty good. Sit up straight for me, there. So I just want this light to kind of go underneath. That looks amazing. And another cool thing about these lights is, remember I told you that I was not going to go back to the hue loop, but I've changed my mind. Lovely. And then I just want to add a little bit of dimension into the image. So what I can do, I can go on the Power Slim 60, and I'm just going to go into HSI mode, effect mode, and we're doing another little hue loop on this one, but we're going to bring down the brightness quite a bit there, just so we have a little bit of detail in the black, which is quite important. Yeah, lovely. I'm switching up the lights again a little bit. Instead of having the projector attachment here, I'm just going to have the Forza 60 with the reflector, just to spread the light a bit more. And then I'm going to change the shape of the projector attachment. So instead of having a circle on Tam's face, I'm going to create a slit that goes across the eyes, which is kind of a reference to like old cinematic movies where, like, have you ever seen if you've ever watched The Addams Family, every shot of Morticia Addams, she's always got like this kind of like strip of light across her face, which is a very film noir kind of lighting technique that we're going to replicate. So I'm going to take out my iris, and then rather than having a circle on Tam, I am just going to create this slit going across Tam's face. There, perfect. Nice. Great, love that. So for the fourth look today, I've basically switched the power slims that we had as a rim light on Tam, and I put it in front, and then I've put the softbox accessory on it. And the reason why I've done this is because I really want to focus now on the eyes on Tam, and I want to really create really nice catch lights in Tam's eyes. So I put them really close to Tam, and then I've moved the Power Slim 60C underneath to kind of create a nice fill light underneath. And then I brought in two PowerTube 15C2s that I have on each side. And then I've moved the Forza 60C on with the reflector attachment that I put in the back for a hair light. And as you can see now, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different colored lights running at the same time, and they're all doing a hue loop. So Tam is here centered between the two lights, and we've got the projector attachment like hitting Tam in the middle of the face. And I am just shooting Tam with a continuous shooting mode on my camera, and I'm getting a lot of different options. Tam, lovely. Tilt your head a little bit, chin up. Beautiful. There, look at me. So for the final setup for this YouTube video, I wanted to kind of create this multicolored ring light look. And I really just wanted to focus just on the reflections in Tam's eyes. So I'm going super, super close, and I'm cropping really tight on his face. And I'm really just setting up, so I've set up the Power Slims. So I put up the 120C on the top, and then at 120C on the bottom. So we're kind of creating a nice reflection underneath the eyes. And then I've put a Power tube on each side as well. So we kind of get the reflection from each side on the eyes. And all of the lights are just like super, super close to Tam's face, because the only thing that we are seeing is basically cropped just around the hair. Look straight at the camera. Can you look up at the other light? Beautiful. Thank you so much for watching this episode, and I'll see you around for the next episode.